So this one is an easy enough problem if you just do it step by step. So don't forget that a positive quadratic has a vertex at 0, 0, and then a coordinate at 1, 1, and minus 1, 1. And the graph pretty much looks like this. This is when we have positive x squared. And down here, the graph of negative x squared looks like this. The vertex is still at 0, 0, but we have the second coordinate at 1, minus 1 or minus 1, minus 1. The thing that I want you to notice is that that coordinate on both cases is 1 unit to the right and 1 unit up from the vertex, or 1 unit down and to the right from the vertex. So if you were to sketch this graph, because it is positive, we know that it's going to open upward. And because it has a minus 10, the vertex is going to be at 0, minus 10. So we're going to go all the way to minus 10. That's going to be our vertex. We're going to expect this to open upwards because the x squared is positive. And as I said, let me see if I can zoom a bit. I want to zoom. There we go. So we're going to have something like this at minus 10. And as I said, we're going to move 1 to the right and 1 up, because that's the way a graph looks. 0, 0, then 1, 1, and we're just shifting that same graph. So we're going to use this as the vertex and this as a point. So to sketch the graph, we're going to use those things. I'm going to select the parabola. Then I'm going to click on the vertex. I'm going to decide whether it opens up or down. We're going to see at the end of the semester how we can sketch a graph that opens sideways, but not for now. So we're going to open it upwards. And the reference point, the second point, is always going to be 1 unit to the right and 1 unit up, or 1 unit to the right and 1 unit down if it is negative. So that's not my eraser. This is my eraser. So now that we have that part of the function, let's think about what the restriction is telling us. It's telling us that we should only be using values that go from -4. So I'm going to write the restriction over here on the side, going from -4 to 4. And we're going to think about it. I just want to zoom in a bit. So if you zoom in into your function, this is what you have to think of. This is 4. So basically we're given a limiting value here at 4. And this is -4. So it's telling us that the graph, you can do it visually or you can evaluate the quadratic function at -4 and 4. But if you notice, the graph is being intersected by those limits here and here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to cut the graph at those points, but you can always think about this segment of the graph being going from -4 to 4, and we want x to be greater than or equal to and less than 4. And the function that's going to work on this segment is plus x squared minus 10. So if you want to make sure that you're using the right coordinate to cut your graph, like the scissors from Hercules or the snap of the fingers from Thanos, you could say, well, what happens if I use some -4? Well, it's going to be -4 squared minus 10. So that's going to be 16 minus 10. That's 6. So minus 4 comma 6. And if I do it with 4, I'm going to get 4 comma 6. So that's where things end for this segment of the graph. And now I have to make sure I can cut my graph inside of those limits. So I'm going to write the coordinates minus 4 comma 6. And I'm going to plot that point, and I'm going to plot the other one, 4 comma 6. So if you notice, I have those 2 points where the graph is going to break, and I'm going to get rid of everything that's outside of those limits. So I'm going to grab the eraser, and I'm going to get rid of this segment and that segment. And I only have the part of the graph that's in between those limits, but I have to look at it. This one has an equal sign. So I'm going to use the solid dot here. And this one does not have an equal sign. So I'm going to use the hollow dot or the open circle here. And just like that, you have your quadratic. Let me just zoom out. And I would just have to work with the linear function. So that's basically it. Now the linear function is going to work with values that are on the other side. So let me just show you real quick, because I want to show you what the formative assessment is going to be. So it's going to work for values that are greater than or equal to 4. So you can evaluate, you need at least 2 points. You could use minus 4, and it works with the function minus x plus 10. Or you can use, positive 4 or 5. So if you use 4, it's going to be 4 minus 4 plus 10. That's 6. And this is going to be minus 5 plus 10, 5. So you have coordinate 4 comma 6. So I'm going to sketch that one. 4 comma 6 is going to start here, and then 5 comma 5. So 5 comma 5 over here. Now you can use this tool, and you'll start here, go through the coordinate. And because I have an equal sign, I'm going to use the dot, the solid dot here, and it's going to fill the previous dot, and I'll have my graph. So that's for you to practice a bit, to try to get familiar with this, but that's pretty much how you would sketch a graph like